Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another Craft with Me. This is another inspired video. I watched a video over on Louisa Heinzel's channel where she dug up some old buttons and she made them vintagey, and she made dangles out of them. So I want to do that today. I thought they would be fantastic for the Fairy Magic Journal. So let me tell you what I've got going on here. So we've got some gesso because we're going to cover our buttons with gesso so that we can then cover them over with, she used napkins. I'm going to use pages from the kit that I printed on tissue paper. And I'll talk with you briefly about how to do that. I'm not going to show you through the printer because my printer is now behind me on a shelf and it's not possible for me to do that. I do have a video on my channel about how to print on vellum, tissue paper, and other papers. So I will link that video in the supply list and probably in the description box. So basically what you want to do to print a digital on tissue paper, let me just pull one of these out here so you guys can see. I printed 2 of the pages from the kits. I'm using My Porch Prints, Fairy Tea Party, and Fairy Magic kits. So this is still on the paper, but this is actually tissue. So let me pull my cart over so that I have some supplies and tools here. So I'm just going to cut this. I can't remember which end is which. So basically what I do is I take a small glue stick. I put like a mat like this down on my table, and then I go over the edge of the paper and I put a bit of glue all the way around 3 sides. Then you want the side that you don't put any glue on is the side that will go up in your printer if it's a top loading printer. And so that's what I did. It works really, really great. You do lose a little bit of your landscape because of where the tissue paper sticks. So, and this is the size of glue stick I used because it's just a lot less, it's not as big. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off the bottom of this, and I'm just going to cut about a 1/4 of an inch just to release that paper. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. I love, love, love printing on tissue paper. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is well worth it for the results that you get. So just going to finish trimming this up. And again, if you want to see how I do that, you can actually watch the video. I had my printer in view so you guys could see what I was doing. Just rearrangement in the studio doesn't allow me to do that anymore. So just show you what this looks like. So then we just pull it, and you're gonna get sticking parts, so you're just stuck in a couple places. A glue stick is the best thing, and so there you go. You have a digital on tissue paper. So we're gonna cover our buttons with gesso, and when that's dry, then we're going to, and these are the buttons I picked. I've got tons of these buttons that I purchased and I never use them. So those are the ones we're going to use, and I'll talk about what you see here in a moment. And then we're going to cover them with this tissue paper. So this is pretty mellow. It's probably not going to have a real boom, effect because it's just stripes, but I thought it would be fun. And so I will release this one here in a moment. Let me just set this stuff aside. This is the tissue paper that I use. I actually buy it already pre-cut because I don't know if you've ever wrestled with cutting tissue paper, but it is a pain in the patootie. So I buy it already cut. So I will link that as well. In fact, let me make a quick note because my brain is not great right now. So I'm going to put link. Printing video, I don't know what that means, and link the tissue paper. I get it on Amazon, so pretty easy peasy. So let me just get this extra stuff out of the way there. Okay, so what I have here, because I don't do fiddly things on camera very well, I have already prepared my dangles. So let me show you what I'm thinking here. So this is the button. Okay, well, let me show you one that I already finished completely and I left it together. So this is the one that was my sample. Even though the button is not yet covered, this is what it's going to look like. So I've got a gold bulb pin up there that we'll be able to attach to something in the journal. We've got a little bee charm, a little butterfly charm, and then this is just a piece of chain that I had in my stash, and then I put a piece of lace behind it just because I like that look. So that is our prototype, but I am actually going to take this off. You know what? 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to grab another button so I don't have to take this one apart right now. Hold 1 second. I've got like so many of these. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So now we have our 5th one. So I'm gonna gesso and prep 5 of them. But to save time as well as to not have to do fiddly work, I already put these together. So this one you can see, I'm actually quite thinking that I might want to just leave that one like it is, but I'm not completely sure because I really want to just complete this process. But we still would have 1, 2, 3. I might leave this one as the butterfly, even though it is upside or it's sideways. I still think it's pretty, but that's the idea. And this is just a piece of, I think this was some jewelry that somebody gave me, and it's perfect for this journal because it's so magical. So again, I'm still debating on whether or not I want to cover that button. I think I probably do, just because I'm not going to really be satisfied with that butterfly being on its side. So let me just release this really quick if I can. There we go. I'll probably have to get another bulb pin because I just bent that, but that's okay. Woo! Okay, so I'm going to try to keep these things together so that I remember what I was doing. And the other ones I didn't connect the buttons. So that's one button, and then this is another dangle that we're going to do. So again, this is a piece of jewelry. I believe that was in a bag of stuff that somebody gave me, and it's got a little charm, a fairy charm on the bottom. So that's going to be another one. And then this one is another one. So I've already got my bulb pins and all that right here. And a piece of that my coffee dyed eyelet trim, and this one has the leaves and then this little flower and a little bronze looking rose. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's kind of dark and close to all the other dark things. Come on, I want to show the people. It's just really dark, you guys, so hard to see. So that's that. And then this is a little bottle. I had a bunch of these in my stash. I'm going to try to find, I have some pixie dust somewhere. I think I'm going to attach that one to the one that has the silver chain and the little green jewels. So let me just get that over there. And then our last one is, I'm kind of on the fence about, because it feels kind of wild and crazy. How come I only have 3 there? 4, 5. There we go. But this is what I was thinking. So I've already got it attached just so you guys can see what I'm thinking. But I love this. I love this long, these were like earrings or something, and I just hung them on a jump ring, and I think this is going to be beautiful to hang out the bottom of a journal, to just be a really long dangle. So a button would go right here though. So that is what we're working with here. So let's go ahead and release this paper as well. So again, I only glue it on 3 sides. So this is the side that I did not glue. So I can cut off the other 3 sides and still have quite a bit to work with. You do want to think about, sometimes I do get some bleeding, especially if I use my matte medium, which is what I'm going to be using to attach the tissue paper, and it's going to get pretty messy because you're covering something super small, but I'm not too worried if it smears a little bit, because it's going to just make it be more vintagey in my opinion. Oftentimes when I'm using tissue paper, I will, or doing a technique like this, I will heat set this with my heat tool, but I did not do that this time. So again, see how that comes up, because glue stick is meant to be a temporary adhesive, so it comes off pretty easily. So there you can see my hand through it. It's going to be epic. So let's just set those aside, and I'm just going to use this. Well, I don't need I guess I'll use this paper to set my buttons on after I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and get my gesso out, and we're going to cover these buttons, and we're probably going to give them a couple coats, and I can heat set them with my heat tool in between. I don't know if you guys have ever covered 3D embellishments and things like that with gesso, but if you put the first layer on, kind of get it drying a little bit, heat it with the zap it with the heat tool, and then do another coat, that second coat is going to adhere better to the gessoed surface than the first layer did on the button itself. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I've got the heat tool there in case I want to do that. So let's go ahead and just gesso these. This gets pretty messy, guys, because you got to hold on to it. Well, yeah, you got to kind of hold on to it and get in all those places. And I'll worry about poking those holes out in a minute when it's all dry. After we put the tissue paper, we can take care of that. So you can see it covers pretty well. I need something to hold that. Hold on. I think Louisa did have something that she was holding on to, oops, something on the floor. Okay, got these little tweezers, so let me see if I can get a hold of these. I don't do fiddly work very well, in case I didn't mention that already. Oh, this is pretty nifty. Okay, whoops. Oh my goodness, Cara-Renee, you're a joke. Okay, so just hold on there. I don't want to squeeze it, Renee. That's what releases it. And I don't care if it's rough and stuff. And I'm not too concerned about the back of the button because I think these are all cream colored. So let me turn that over and see. Yeah, so, well, let's go ahead and get it at least mostly. It's just that when you lay it down, it's going to stick. So I'm not going to put it on the paper because it'll just stick to the paper. So there we go. There's one button. Release. New button. Oh, fiddly work. Just does not suit me very well on camera, guys. But I'm showing up. Oh, it kind of turns in there. It's kind of cool. That's nifty. So I'm going to speed through covering these up, and then we will move on when we get to the next step. So I have done button dangles before, but I feel like this is different because what drew me to her video was using buttons that just kind of sit there and they never get used because either you have just so much of them or whatever. So it's just a way to use your stash in a different way. I really don't want any of this print to shine, any of this button to shine through though, so I'm going to be very thorough in my application of the gesso because I don't want that peeking through. I mean, this would be all right because it's pretty flowers, I guess, but I'm going for a complete coverage here. And I'm off camera, sorry guys. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and dry these, and I'll be right back. I'm wiping off my tweezers in between. Okay, so that should be a good dry on the first layer. I moved my mat here so that I'm working all on the brown mat here, and I should be able to just do these while they're sitting here. So I'm just going to give another coat, and again, once you start drying that, the second coat goes on better because it has something to stick to. So I'm not worried about the edges because it was only the top of the button that was printed that had a design, and we'll be able to poke those holes back through without any problem. So, but we'll do that after the tissue paper. So we will finish this, and then we will do this one more time, a dry, and then I'll flip them over and see if I feel like we need to do another layer on the back side. Okay, let me just pick this up and see. Yeah, I think I want to do the back side again too, so I'm just going to pick it up and do that really quick, and then we'll heat them again. May as well just do it right the first time. I will probably do one more coat on the top as well. So I think I'll finish this and I'll come back to you when these are completely covered and actually ready for the next step. Okay, I think we are done with the gesso. The coverage is not perfect, but it is good enough for me. They are still hot. Gesso dries pretty fast, so I'm just going to dump those right there and wipe my mat off really quick. So we can move on. So I think I've decided that I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to use the green striped. Well, I might. I'm going to look at it here just a second. Feeling like it's kind of plain for this technique. It's beautiful paper, but for this I think it might be a little bit plain. But let's see. Let's look at this. I also haven't thought through how exactly I'm going to get the tissue paper on there and wrap it around and all of that stuff. So we'll do it together. So let's see. Yeah, see how it's not going to really show unless you kind of get up in the darker corners. So I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to stick with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut kind of squarish pieces here. Like maybe like 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. I'm just guessing here. Or maybe bigger. We can always trim around if we need to, because that's more than enough to cover it. So I'm just going to continue to cut down this edge. So again, Louisa used napkins, but I wanted this to be kit specific because I am supporting. I'm not in any way affiliated in any way with My Porch Prints. I just love their stuff, and so I want to give as much exposure to them as I possibly can. So I'm going to also grab my pokey tool here just so it's ready. This is the new one. Doo-doo! Isn't that nifty? So I think what I'm going to do is get a little bit of matte medium out on my mat here. And I'm going to get these out of the way so I don't get them wet. The fan is blowing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some matte medium everywhere that I can. And then I think I can mostly get around the edges enough to get it. I basically need to get it on there so that it won't move. So I want that flower, so I'm going to deliberately get that flower in there like so. I'm going to move the camera closer. I realize I'm kind of pulled back here into myself, so my apologies, guys. So that's too much, so let's go ahead and trim that up. Okay, we're going to do the same on this side. We're going to go ahead and just put my whole brush in the matte medium. So we're going to, I think I need to trim that off a little bit too. So I'm going to just kind of fold it into itself again, kind of at the corners, and then we're just going to go for it. Probably too much there, so I'm just going to trim. I've never done this before, so this is all just trial and error. You do have to be very, very gentle with tissue paper because it's very fragile. So there we go. This is working out beautifully. And then I'm also trying to be mindful of the finger that's underneath the button, that I don't get stuck to my project and tear the paper. So, I mean, worst case scenario, you would just put another piece on top of it and you just have a double layer, right? So there we go. Let's just get that on there, and I'm gonna make sure it's nice. And oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Yes, love it. I do definitely want to make sure that we get flowers in the on the button. So let me, got everything blowing everywhere here. So let's try this one. So same process. Would probably be good to have something to wipe your fingers off of this hand that is touching the front side of your button. Again, getting some matte medium on there. You could also use Mod Podge. I just don't use Mod Podge because I like matte medium, but anything like this would work. So I'm just going to try to fold that over. It's getting a little bit bulky. So see if I can, oh, that's so pretty. So pretty. So I'm just being very gentle because I don't want any of this to tear. We got a tear right there, but I'm not going to worry about it because we can ink that up. We've got a tear on the edge. And we'll have a better idea of how this is looking when we're done with all of them. So, wiping my hands again. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up a little bit, guys, because you don't need to see it 5 times. So I will just turn the music on for you for just a short bit here. So that last one, I cut it a little bit too small of a circle, so I had to cover it back up with some other paper. So I'm just going to try this one here. Okay, and I'm just not going to trim it quite as small, because that last one I did seemed to work out pretty good. You could also just use gift wrap tissue paper. This tissue paper I get from Amazon is just a convenience. It's not necessary at all. So it's just what I do. Oh, we didn't cover it all there. Dang on it. Let me stick something in there. Let's see if we can get a piece just to stick under there. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. I feel like this one's tearing. I was holding it in one place too long, so I'm gonna try to let that go a little bit. I think my hands are too sticky at this point. Okay, just getting those in there. Okay, there we go. Oh, that one's beautiful. Oh, they're all so beautiful. I'm going to get a little bit of more matte medium. This will dry hard and clear, which is epic. So I'm going to go ahead and take a moment and get these all dried, and then we'll come back for the next step. Okay, so just going to set that there, keep my mat cleaned up here, or straight. So what I discovered though is I've got a lot of layers going over on the back of that, so I'm concerned about being able to find my holes. So I'm thinking if this will go through, and it will, so this will go all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently touch this and just see if I can find that hole right there. So there's one hole. So I'm just going to put this down and just kind of poke there. Oh, into my glass. Where's the hole? Come on. There we go. Just pushing that through. Okay. I'm just wiggling it. Once I get both of them in, I can, I'm probably better off to just try to poke it. Goodness gracious. There we go. Sometimes I make things way harder than they need to be. Okay, so that one's being a little tougher. I'm going to get my foam out here. See if that will help give me some leverage here. Oh, it's buried. Ugh, 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 ugh. Okay. There we go. I'm just not very patient, you guys. Okay, so that's one hole. Okay, and that's the second hole. Looks good. Let's do the same with these. So again, I'm just gently kind of poking around until I feel something give. Well, it should be faster than that. There we go. There's one. Okay. You do want to make sure these are nice and dry though, because otherwise you're gonna make a mess for yourself. Okay, there we go. Lots of gesso came through that one, which is okay. And I'm just gonna kind of, while I have them in my hands, make sure that there are no kind of corners, sharp corners there. These probably could have been drier, so, but it's not a problem. Not a problem. Look at that adorableness. Come on, focus. You get the gist, right? Let me finish these last two and then we'll move on. There we go. The holes are a lot closer together than I'm giving them, than I'm estimating here. It's okay though. Get that back through there. It's just a lot of gesso in there still. There we go. Okay. So the next step, I'm going to take my archival ink and vintage photo, and I'm going to go ahead and ink these. I'm going to move this back up a little bit, guys. Okay, so I need to wipe my hands off, guys. I'm all sticky, so give me just a quick second. This was after playing in deep mixed media land today too, which is actually my happy place, but it does get sticky. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one first. So this one, again, as I showed you in the beginning, it has a jump ring here, and I was trying to remember which way it was supposed to go. I think I'm hooking this, like, my fingers are still sticky. Okay, I'm gonna have to take care of that, guys. Let me get a little bit of, excuse me, rubbing alcohol on my hands here and get these cleaned up, because that's not gonna work. I need to be able to touch things and not stick to them. So a little bit better, I think, hopefully. Okay, so this one, I can't remember, I think it was supposed to hang like that. Nope, because we need room for the button. So how did I have this? Oh, that's actually quite pretty, just like that. Although I have this long tail and I don't know why. I think I'm just going to go with that one and just go ahead and put my button in first. So I need to let that go. I'm going to put my button in first. So I'm just going to go in to one of the holes and then just come back through that side. And then we're going to string on our little dangly, like so. Yeah, that's perfect. And then our fabric. So I'm going to go through that natural hole there because it's going to be strong. And there is our first one. Look at that. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, but my hands are still sticky, so I'll be right back, guys. Okay, thank you for allowing me to do that. I got most of it off. The matte medium has a whole different thing. It's not like working with Fabri-Tac and stuff like that. It just really, like, it's like the Elmer's glue, so look at all that I still have a bunch on my hand, even though I just scrubbed my fingers with my little Ranger scrubby thing. Oh well. Okay, so let's do the next one. So let's do this one. So again, it's already put together just because for a couple of reasons. As I mentioned, it's a time saver, and I just don't do really well with fiddly things on camera. So I'm trying to think about, is that how I wanted that though? It seems awfully high here, so yeah, it does seem too high. So let me take this bulb pin off and take one of these jump rings. I need to grab my tools really quick. I think this extra one is not needed. It's there if we want it though, so I feel like that's better, and then it's not going to hang quite so low underneath our lace. So let's pick a button. I think I want something with some green in it, because this is very, very pretty button for these little jewels. So we're going to grab this this button and do the same thing. We're going to feed our bulb pin through there, out the other side, and through here, and then through our fabric. So this is a little trickier because it's just a thin lace, but I think if I put it right here, it's not going to tear because we've got that stronger bit of material there. So time will tell though. But it can easily be fixed and replaced, just that piece of lace. So there we go. Look at that. Is that gorgeous or what? I feel like the lace is not long enough. I feel like the lace is not long enough. So I'm going to move our little fairy. So you're going to experience my fiddly work here. My eyes are bad too, so it's really hard for me to see the opening of the jump ring to boot. It must be up here. There we go. So I'm going to take that off completely and just reevaluate this. So it's going to hang down like that. I actually think I want my my fairy just to go on one of these little loops, so I think that will be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and stick my jump ring on and get a hold of it. Okay, like that. And then we'll put our little fairy on and we'll close her up. So when you're doing this, I'm not the expert, guys. You don't want to pull it out, you want to twist it in and out when you're opening and closing. Otherwise it will weaken the metal. So I like that. I like that a lot. Our little angel, our little fairy is kind of hanging there in the front. I'm going to remove these extra rings though. Hopefully I can do it without breaking anything. I need to have my eyes checked, you guys. It's terrible. Okay, there we go. See what falls off. See what falls off. Okay, here we go. Turn, turn, turn. Turn, turn, turn. Okay. There we go. I feel like we're all turned around. There we go. So that is our second one. But just check out that button. It's just so pretty. So pretty. This can go on, it just can go on anything in a journal. It can hang off of a pocket. It can hang off of a tab. So we'll have to see what we want to do with that. So that is the second one. So, and then I think one of these is for the one I had already made. So let me just set one of those aside for that. So I don't actually need all these apparently. So I think I thought I had 5 to do and I only have 4. So this is the next one. And I just picked a piece of lace. I am concerned a little bit about the strength of that, so I'll probably fold it over like that. And so we've got this piece of jewelry, as I mentioned. And where did I want it to hang from? Short-term memory loss here. Oh, this one I don't have a jump ring. I think because I'm not happy that I don't have a silver one. So pardon me 1 second while I grab one. I didn't mean a jump ring. I meant a, whoops. I meant a bulb pin. So this is that nifty. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Jennifer Abner has one, and I saw it on one of her little videos. And so it opens like that, and I put a bunch of stuff in here that I just can grab right here on my desk. So I am going to see if I can find one that I will be happy with for that. Not green. Oh, I don't have any silver. I'm so bummed about not having any silver. I'm not sure why I don't have silver. Oh, what's this one? Oh, here's a silver one. Yay. Okay, so, and then it closes like this. My thing actually came with this piece damaged right here, but it's not, it's just a hassle. It doesn't change its ability to function, so I didn't try to send it back or anything. Okay, so now I have a silver one. I feel better about that. And then I don't think I have a jump ring either. Boy, I'm just falling apart. But I think I probably have one in here. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. Do I have any silvers? No, I don't. They're in the other thing, so I will be right back after I grab that. Sometimes I crack myself up. My extra stuff is over there across the room, so I had to get that figured out. So this one doesn't really have a green. Oh, doggone it. Shoot. That's okay. That's okay. We'll use this one. So let's go ahead and get our bulb pin. Get that ready, and then we need to put a larger ring on this one because it's just a lot of little bits here, and I didn't really look at it very well before I turned the camera on. So oh, there's a little one up there. So I should have opened this first. See, I don't do fiddly on camera. This is why. It's just hard to get a hold of stuff. Okay, come on. There we go. That is so beautiful. I think we're going to need two though, because I need it to hang lower below the button. So I'm going to go ahead and put that second one on there and just close this up. Okay, there we go. And then, because this one can just hook on the bulb pin, but I want to put the little bottle on here too, so I'm thinking I want to put it on the bottom, but I can probably do that in a second after we get everything attached. So again, I'm going to fold that over just so I have a double length of lace there, because that can be a little tricky and not very stable. So I'm going to go ahead and put this through here. Like so. And then we're going to put our little dangly on. And then we're going to put it through our little hole. Hopefully that's going to be enough. If I find that if I second guess this, I might put a different piece of lace. We'll see. We'll see. Because look at what that's going to do. That's not going to work. Darn it. Darn it, darn it. Oh, we do have another one over there. Let's see if I go in a lower one, if that will make a difference. I don't know if it will. Not really. Okay. I'm gonna just leave it like it is for now, and I'm gonna fix that later because that's not gonna, I'm gonna have to put a different piece of lace. So I'm gonna put my bottle on the bottom-ish here. So I'm gonna open up this jump ring as well. And I'm gonna put a second one on because I want that to really hang down. I'm gonna hang my bottle on here, and then close this one and open the other one up to hook it on to the bottom ring. Come on, get a hold of it, Cara-Renee. There we go. And then this one we're going to open. I can find the opening. Come on, baby. There we go. And just try to get something kind of at the bottom here. Yeah, right there. It's going to be pretty bulky, but as I've mentioned in other videos, I allow for that bulk in my journals because I love doing this kind of stuff. So, so again, and probably what I could do with this lace, well, it's now too short, but that's what our dangle looks like. Isn't that amazing? So I'll probably get a different piece of lace for that off camera. So let's go ahead and do the last one. I knew I had this right. There's not too much to do on this one because it's already all put together, but we're just going to undo this bulb pin from the top, and we're going to slide our button on. Let's see, actually we need to take that off. Slide our button on. Let's see, let's do it that way. Okay. This video is taking way longer than I thought. Hopefully I'll be able to cut it down or shrink it down. I don't like them to be this long. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go like here. Get it through that hole. Come on. There we go. There we go. There is our last one. So I really, really love this one. I think it's very, very delicate and beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. And thank you for joining me and for, you know, staying around while I fuss. And even if you did, I still didn't stay around, which you wouldn't hear this, but I appreciate you. I'm tired and I need to probably go to bed. So I will talk to you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.